Good to go?
I'll just stop and know where to go. Walking the streets all alone. Another night, so wish that you could forget. Making yourself up as you go along. Who's gonna take you home tonight? Who's gonna take you home? Who's gonna take you home? He's gonna take you home. Does God bless your transsexual hearts? True trans or rebel. Yet to be born, you're already dead. Sleep with the gun beside you in bed. Follow it through to the obvious end. Stay your veins wide open to bleed it out. Who's gonna take you home tonight? Who's gonna take you home? Who's gonna take you home? He's gonna take you home. Does God bless your transsexual hearts? True trans or rebel. Well, you should have been a mother. Should have been a wife. Should have been gone from here years ago. You should be living a different life. Who's gonna take you home tonight? Who's gonna take you home? Who's gonna take you home tonight? Who's gonna take you home? Who's gonna take you home tonight? Who's gonna take you home? Does God bless your transsexual hearts? True trans or rebel. True trans or rebel.
Thank you.
Laura Jane Grace from Against Me. CD1025 presents show at the Newport Music Hall tonight. Transgender Dysphoria Blues out now on your Total Treble label.
Yes.
Back in the day, as you can tell by the gray hairs, I've been around for a while, and I remember
It's radio. No one can see that.
that's well. Now I've blown it. I remember back in the day, I went to a Rollins band show at an all-ages club, and I remember distinctly, I was there early enough to get in line, and Henry Rollins was sitting on the sidewalk, leaning up against the wall of the club, just talking to kids. And that always, that visual always stuck in my head as that's punk rock to me, as in, you know, you're not up here and they're down there. It's very much a discourse that goes on. And I'm curious, as you're on this current tour, if you've had a chance to just talk to kids, what are they talking to you about? What are they bringing up?
Well, that's one of the biggest lessons I ever learned from punk rock. I mean, like, you know, talking about Rollins or whatever, like even like with Ian MacKaye, like reading about at a really young age that he would like write back to literally everyone who ever wrote to him. And I mean, when I started out like getting into punk, it was like zine culture and like it was the mail, you know, you had pen pals. And I mean, I remember even there's the book Your Own Life, that like that's where I first read about the Legion of Doom here in Columbus. And it was like, oh, this is where you can get in contact with them and that's how you can get a show in Columbus. And so I always felt super obligated whenever anyone wrote to me to write them back. And then that graduated from mail, although we always like kept a P.O. box, still do, to like having a Hotmail address that people could write into. And I would always answer the Hotmail messages. And then it was MySpace. And then it was like, it's become easier with like Twitter and stuff like that, because then it's like just directly to your phone. But I mean, that was like the biggest lesson that I ever learned, is that you shouldn't, have a barrier between you, and there should be that direct connection. And it's awesome, being able to go to a town and like, if I needed to know where something is, I can send out a message via social media and have someone respond to me like, oh, well, that's where you get a good vegan donut, in town or whatever, wherever I'm going. So I always try to be around at shows like before and after, and, just always try to be approachable.
Yeah, that's cool. That's important. I mean, and you can't lose that. It's so vital to the whole culture. You guys are playing live at the Newport Music Hall tonight. Still a few tickets left. Have you play another song? We'll chat a little bit more. What do you want to play?
This song is called F My Life 666. If I could also say real quick, so I was supposed to fly in from Chicago last night, and then my flight got canceled, so I drove instead. So I'm running on like no hours of sleep. I have a broken rib, and but I have a really good attitude. So, all right, here we go.
The ease of your pose, the grace of your silhouette, the way that your shoulders meet your slender neck. Where would we be without all the distance? I'm already just a skeleton. I'd have a heart to match the one pretty near finger. All things made to be destroyed, almost meant to pass. Don't wanna live without teeth, don't wanna die without bite. I never wanna say that I regret it, never wanna say that we grew apart. I never wanna say that the feelings changed. I'd have a heart to match the one pretty near finger. All things made to be destroyed, almost meant to pass. Your nail polish and a barbed wire dress. Is your mother proud of your eyelashes? Silicone chest and collagen lips. How would you even recognize me? I'd have a heart to match the one pretty near finger. All things made to be destroyed, almost meant to pass. I'd have a heart to match the one pretty near finger. No more troubled sleep, there's a brave new world that's raging inside of me. I'd have a heart to match the one pretty near finger. This too will soon slip out of reach, this too will soon come to an end.
Thanks, y'all. That was creative tuning.
Laura Jane Grace in the big room with us against me at the Newport Music Hall tonight, presented by CD 1025, the record Transgender Dysphoria Blues. Am I mistaken here? That particular song was inspired by a person in your life?
Well, the title in particular came from is something that my friend used to say, who passed away a couple years ago. Whenever he would get frustrated and he would just throw his hands up in the air and say, F my life, and walk away from the situation. So it was a tribute to him. There's another song on the record called Dead Friend that is about him. His name was Pope, John Paul Allison. And he was just like a really colorful character, the kind of person you only meet once in a lifetime. Had hell tattooed across his neck, dope sick on his knuckles, an acid bath on his knuckles, and a bunch of other words that we can't say on the air all over him. But just a really, like, I don't know, one of those people, you know, total savant.
Oh, the album in general, if I had to guess, if we wanted to know a lot about your life, it would be, if you sat down and listened to it, would it kind of explain a lot of things about you and your journey just by listening to the record and checking out the lyrics?
Of course, it's a very autobiographical record. I mean, at the same time, like every Against Me record for me is like, you know, a chapter from my life, if you want to put it that way. Like, I'm not a very good fiction writer or anything like that, you know. Some albums have songs that are more direct, you know, about whatever I'm going through personally, and this one in particular, you know, is pretty direct. But yeah.
Have the words always come easily for you when you sit down to write?
Well, I mean, not necessarily easily, but they've always been the most important thing to me about a record. Like, I always approach songwriting with writing the lyrics first and then putting music around it, just because it's like there's infinite combinations of vowels and consonants and everything like that, while there's only a limited amount of chords that you can play. So if you come up with the chord structure first, then you're going to have to fit the words within that structure, as opposed to if you come up with the words first and having to fit the chords around the words. So it's always going to be a G or a C or a D, you know?
Yeah. Now, you went from writing songs, writing lyrics. I saw a tweet that you sent out the other day that you had finished a manuscript, 220,260 words.
Right. Well, finished is, you know, loose, but I typed that many words, yes,
Well, yeah,
for a book.
it still has to be edited, of
Right,
course. And
yeah.
it goes through many changes. That's a lot of words.
Yeah.
Did you find the whole experience liberating, or was it just very difficult in terms of, I've got to sit down and get this done?
Well, like I've been working on a book, right? But it's just tour journals. Like, I've kept tour journals since I was 16, 17 years old. So the majority of the work was just sitting there transcribing journals, trying to figure out like my drunken handwriting or whatever, like, and figuring out what's worthwhile to keep in there and what's not. So that part was pretty mind-numbing, actually, but it was important to like go back and remember, you know, and put myself back in that place or whatever. But I'm looking forward to burning the journals when I'm done, making
Burn 'em,
sure it's an
get the
actual
book out,
book.
burn them.
Yeah.
So any timetable on that, or?
Sometime next year, hopefully.
Cool,
It'll be
cool.
out. Yeah.
Did you have trouble reading your own handwriting?
Oh, very much so.
Yeah, see, if I my handwriting's awful, so I would imagine that would be the
Well,
biggest
I'll
hurdle.
actually, like, when traveling and stuff like that, like in flying on airplanes and everything, like, I'm always really nervous that someone's looking over my shoulder and reading what I'm writing. So I purposely have developed a really sloppy way of writing so that only I can decipher it, even though I can't often decipher it. But yeah.
We do what we can. Laura Jane Grace is here from Against Me. Transgender Dysphoria Blues is out now, and it is excellent. Seeing them at the Newport Music Hall tonight. Can we get another song and we'll turn you loose?
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here. What are you going to play?
Thank you for having me. This song's called Unconditional Love.
Unraveling, unroll the siren in the night. I love the jaundice of your skin, its perverse plasticity. You make me wanna smoke cigarettes, you make me wanna drink whiskey. But even if your love was unconditional, even if your love was unconditional, even if your love was unconditional, it still wouldn't be enough to save me. It still wouldn't be enough to save me. My second-band love song, my authentic desperation. I'm addicted to the feeling, the only kind of steady I believe in. Prison cell exercises, solitary sport entertainment. What makes you think you're gonna die any different? Even if your love was unconditional, even if your love was unconditional, even if your love was unconditional, it still wouldn't be enough to save me. It still wouldn't be enough to save me. Even if your love was unconditional. suicides. The vultures will pick your bones dry. Half digested in eternal, somewhere lost in the thermal. Welcome to the future and always ice cold nightmare. Burn coffee and Percocets, yeah, this night to end. Even if your love was unconditional, even if your love was unconditional, even if your love was unconditional, it still wouldn't be enough to save me. It still wouldn't be enough to save me. It still wouldn't be enough to save me. It still wouldn't be enough to save me.
Thanks, y'all.
Laura Jane Grace from Against Me. Newport Music Hall tonight. Get your tickets. Come out for the big show. Transgender Dysphoria Blues out now on Total Treble. One more time, Laura Jane Grace. You have been a great studio audience. We return things now to Control Central.